So hello everyone. We are having our working session, second working session after New Year's Eve. Hello to Nienke, Catherine and Katerina who are online, and also hello to Glenys, Mary, Wendy who might watch it or join later. Great to see you. Today's agenda is very easy to go through. Let's start maybe with the intentions also from the call and also from what you shared. There have been intentions from all of you. Katerina, you might share yours. And Glenys have shared hers in WhatsApp conversation. And then I would suggest just we will watch out on our vortex, like vortex, what we want to achieve maybe until the end of the program as a vortex, as an eagle. And then also, if we manage still viewing the platforms could be good. And here I would suggest that we will maybe go through one question. That is my intention. What one action we will do in the platform maybe until the end of program. That's just suggestion.
My suggestion would be to look at the gaps, because we can do whatever action we like to take. But if we haven't discovered our gaps and what we want to accomplish in the coming up 6 weeks, no use.
All right, so we can start with the first thing, which is like the intentions and what we can take for the vortex. And maybe I would be very curious about Katerina, because you haven't shared the video, and also you were not on the call on first day. So what was your takeaway for vortex on first day, and also what is your intention for the call or for the program, like something, because I haven't heard from you. And step out, like I know that I should be leading the call, but I think this is our working call, so let's do the best out of it. And
yeah, well, I listened this morning to the call, and I haven't recorded yet my my summary of where I have and what I see accomplished last year, which I'm going to do at the end of this call. I don't know, I was thinking like what my word would be for 2018. It's something along the theme of like the process when you're like in a cocoon. It's transformational process. I mean, huge, and like really like fundamental for me transforming in the company that I'm in and stepping up, and then on the next level just stepping up and seeing how really it doesn't resonate with me at all, and steps and setting up Step Up Stop Slavery, and then the path of that growth and development of the NGO and what we're creating now, which is an online summit dealing with five different areas, how they can handle trafficking and slavery, and creating that. So it's literally been a huge, massive shift year for me. And the space where I need to develop myself is in team and leading team. I think that for me has me, like I was thinking about this a lot today, even when I was leading, like coaching ILP and leading introductions. I mean, I was really comfortable in like stepping up and leading, but then in team, I used to kind of like step back, and I can see me doing the same thing. So what there is for me to develop is like being in team and also communication. So what I'm doing now is I've spoken to Wendy about like really supporting me in that, like checking my blind spots. I'm going to go and do the communications course with Landmark in May. No, sorry, in March. March is the next one. I checked up dates today. So that's
Power to Create or Access to Power?
The first one is Access to Power, right? That one.
Yeah.
I haven't done any.
Okay. I'm doing the second one in March. Damn it. Almost.
Sorry?
I'm doing the second one in March. I thought we might on the same place.
Oh, no. I haven't even done the first one. I'm really serious. I really need to do that for me to do that. So that's number one on the agenda. So like any coaching and help that I can really do between then. I'm definitely committed to doing that this Wendy and my internet. So I was like, oh God. But yeah. So things are moving really, really fast. So I need to kind of deal with my blind spots ASAP. That's
Katrina, why why is the gap there? What did occur to you in communication and team? Because we have been in leadership program, we've been in this program a lot. So why do you think the gap is still there? And how can we help you?
I think it's something around like me stepping out in the limelight, like even with the platform, like stepping up in the limelight. And then what comes up for me is this thought that I don't know it all. I don't have all the answers. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what's the best way to do this. And it's the same questions that are coming up for me in the NGO, in creating the business plan. It's how do I do this? You know, I don't know how to do this.
And then you freeze.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And I freeze. So now I'm literally trying to identify that, stop, make a plan, and just take small steps so I don't freeze. But that's what I do. I kind of, yeah.
Okay, and you're taking your first steps with Wendy in that, because you didn't schedule a call at all with me. You didn't really follow up on that one, communication team.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm still there for you. So please make it work, but you have to step up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because then you fall into the habit that people will chase you. And that's comfortable. And then you can blame yourself not following up, and that's the habit, and it's just wasted energy.
Yeah.
And I think for you, it's time to receive help.
Receive. It's the receiving. It's opening myself up.
Haven't we all been there? You know.
Yeah.
All there.
Yeah.
So please reach out. And,
I will. Thank you.
Become better.
And Katarina, a lot of what you share resonates with me, and team was something I really worked a lot on last year. And although I still have more to transform in that area, it was the biggest gap that I shifted last year. So also, would love to speak with you sometime if you want to have a conversation.
I can't hear you very well. Hold on a minute. Let me just put my.
Your sound is very soft, Catherine. So I might put your mic a bit up.
But what I also got in Catherine sharing and about receiving, and also your Katerina, I would be maybe eager to know, as now is the middle of January already, if you see that until the end of January, for example, there is anything that you haven't been able to receive something from us, and now you can open up for that.
Yeah.
Let's just see it within 2 weeks. And besides that, Glenn is very happy to see you with us. We are going through the first thing, which is intentions about Vortex and what we're going to do until the end of it. And Katerina was sharing about receiving. So I know I'm very curious, because you always speak about receiving. These are all wonderful things, but really when you see now, let's see it until the end of January, it's 15 days or something. So what's there that you need to open up for and you were not?
What do you mean? What's there that's blocking me, or what's the help that I need?
The second question, because you said you want to learn how to receive.
Yeah.
I still don't know what you mean in our Vortex by receiving. Like what? More info or more structure?
Just advice on how to create a business plan, how to do my financial planning, how to do those things, because practically for me to be able to leave wargaming and focus on NGO, I need money coming in, at least so I can survive, and so I can set stuff up and get it rolling. So for that I need my business plan, and then I need to reach out to corporates and get the funding in. Now I can see what needs to be done. So I'm reaching out to specific people that can help me on the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
And then also dealing with subconsciously what has me blocked.
and like, because I do this like self-sabotaging thing, so I just need to look at just shift that, because I'm sure it's probably something quite small and specific, and then when that's shifted, I'm gonna run. So there's something there.
Yeah, and just also for us as a group, because this has an impact on the ego, and it's not what you do but still it has an impact.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
Sometimes it's easier to receive if you can help others with it too. Is my experience.
Yeah.
Just say and just reach out, and regarding the last 6 weeks of the program, where's the gap and what do you want to reach in the program?
I want to launch my platform.
Well, it's quite a bit of work. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it launched by the end of the program.
And the gap is, it isn't ready yet.
The gap, actually, it's getting there. It's like me in gestation. Now it's becoming clearer. So with the online summit that we're doing with the NGO, that will be just like perfect alignment, which is, no duplication of energy. It's the same topic. So that will come quite naturally, I think, now.
What's the date of your summit, Katarina?
It's going to be the second week of May, so between the 13th and 17th of May. And the theme, the tagline of the NGO is breathing life into human rights. So how we can end slavery by breathing life into human rights. You've frozen, love.
Yeah, you are frozen, Catherine. Mary, nice to see you.
Yeah, I wasn't speaking, but
Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, because I don't know if you know.
Just move your mic up, Catherine, please.
But I suppose Catherine is going to share, if Katerina knows about our summit. We are planning like a global GFU, like GFU, like having a summit in March. Maybe you've heard it in the recording. So.
Yes, but I don't think there was any more details shared about any vision or topic or details or anything.
No, to be continued.
Yes. So when you say like until the end of the program, which is 6 weeks, your biggest input to our Eagle to Fly is to make your platform functional and open up yourself to receive and ask more for getting the support. Did I get it?
Yeah, and well, yeah, just to play, because I see that I've been like on the side, kind of like dealing with myself and stepping it out, but I haven't been full on playing. So what I'm gonna do is just play, get on the court and play and create, because there's a lot of co-creating to do in the topic, especially in my topic. I mean, there's the huge overlap with politics, huge overlap with ecology and business, and that's something that I really want to look at, creating conscious justice and looking at slavery. It's so much overlap. So that's something that I would love to kind of bring us all together to look at all the different aspects and how we can do that.
What about the others? Like, what about Mary, Glenise, Wendy on this intention for tonight and also for the activities of the program?
Hi, everyone. I can't stay for long, but I'm going to pop in and out as I can between periods, if that's okay with you guys. Yeah. I know. So my intention is literally to be with you, like be with you and be with my kids, my little ones, today, which I thought was so great to ask that. And then I'll translate that into, this is my intention to be like this in the world, like literally, like where I can be with everyone everywhere, literally, because I can. Yeah. So I'm so happy to join you. And if it's super noisy here, please like just let me know. I'll stay on mute most of the time. Yeah. But I just love you guys. So I'm happy to be here. Do you want a different intention, Andrea? Like as far as listening to the Thursday call, which I did, I completed.
Maybe just I would be interested, in terms of our 6 weeks program, 6 weeks until the end of the program. What you think with that being with us? Bring or what you rely on or create together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that I want to be able to create. So in the 6 weeks out, what I've started doing with Kevin is really creating, what for the conscious ecology. And I don't just keep it as conscious ecology. I literally think of it as all of us, because everybody will be invited. And we're actually starting to now create what it's going to look like online as far as intentions and distinctions for people to be able to take being a leader. And then we're going to take part of the self-expression program in and also take some of those distinctions and bring them all together inside of what this could look like online. And we're right now the language we have for it is to be the change. So be the transformation, be the change that you say you want to be in the world, and that everybody would bring in something as far as conscious ecology. It doesn't need to be conscious ecology because obviously it includes everything, but just to bring something that you want to make a difference with in the world for the people that we're going to invite. So how we're going to start it is we're going to start it with just to really try it out and see what it looks like inside of our constellation with the people in my core group, where they will invite people, and then you guys, if you want to come and be part of it and invite people, that's our intention to really flesh it out like that. So in 6 weeks time, I expect that we'll have that completed and ready to start to roll out. And that's my intention.
Are you happy with Suzanne being with you?
Oh my God, seriously? Okay. Yes, and I'm meeting with her on tomorrow, on Monday. And I love just from, I've been on one call with her, but I haven't been her and I privately on a call together. But just the way she communicates and the fire that she has, I love. So yeah, thrilled would be it's not happy, it's absolutely thrilled. It makes me smile and laugh every time every time she communicates with me, or I think of her being part of it. She's she's so straight too, hey? She's like, I'm here to make a difference. Let's get on with it.
So what can I do? Go. Yeah.
Exactly.
She's a creative star, really big star, but she's really good in communication, and she's really happy to contribute. And it was one of her intentions to join a platform so she can be in the extended team for SLab.
Oh my gosh,
really whatever it takes to be in the SLab. So ecology resonates most, and she will take it on also to make it as a something what she can teach other platforms to be. That's
wow
in GFU. Well, we'll see. But I'm so happy for you. We have two Mother Gaias, one of nearly 1 meter, 90 centimeters. She's really tall, but two beautiful Gaias with a lot of spirits. And I think you will love working with her.
I know I will. And thank you so much for, sending her, to her, like what matters to her and being part of my platform. I'm absolutely thrilled.
It will help you to close some gaps.
Yes.
She will help you lead it. I'm pretty sure. So that's.
Oh yeah.
I'm really thrilled. It's weaving in the constellation, and it's weaving
Yeah.
Membership. I think you have a good example how membership with several is integrated in your platform. It's an example for us,
Yeah.
as I see it.
Well, and I really love Nanki. I love how you said that because that she will help lead it. So in my platform, I have no intention. Yes, I'm an initiator. Yes, I'm leading it, but I have no intention of it being led by one. It's going to be led by many women and men, quite frankly. And I love that you point right to that.
We all will
Thanks.
flourish from there. Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Wendy, is there any gap for you that we can help you to go through? Also, that can have an impact on anything.
Well, one of the big gaps I see for me is I'm starting to have people come to me just like, man, I've had like 3 this week come to me that want to start doing work with unstoppable conversations. So my gap is, how do I also have that become, inside of our constellation membership? I want it to work in alignment with all, to bring people inside of our circle as well. And I know that's my gap. I know it's a place that that I have a gap in, and I wouldn't say I'm not sure what to do with, but I think that I have to be very intentional. So I think the intentionality, I've been inviting, but I haven't been, I don't do a ton of following up, because I want it to be like it's been with Unstoppable. And so to me wanting something some way isn't enough for it to actually be created and happen. So I see that as my gap. It's a gap that's going to be closed before the end of 6 weeks for sure.
Wendy, did you hear in the recording that we're also having the intention to create groups where we can help each other how to engage people in the platform? So I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
I did hear it, and I loved it when I heard it, because I thought, oh wow, that's me. That is actually for that intention, and it is, for me, quite obviously my gap.
Okay. So
yeah.
There's
Wendy, a question for you. Is it the dynamo that's missing? Like, you can't see how the different pieces, how your people fit into different parts or categories, or like bringing them all together?
I'm not sure, but that's a really great question, and I sincerely mean I'm not sure. So the team that I've brought together so far is, if I look at it as a team, is just a really great people, like Kat, and Suzanne is coming in, and Kevin and Tanis. So I see I can create a team, and I've created teams lots, but it's to create a team that actually gets involved at a level of constellation that they'll start like looking and discovering for themselves. So the ones that are there are already kind of really heavy duty, already been in transformational work. So it's like, how do I take the ones that haven't been, that want it and are looking, but actually aren't taking the step into it, right? The step into it, like that will make a difference for them. So that's a great question, and I'd like to work with. Well, Ninky and I are going to work after this call anyway, and I'd like to look there.
Okay, I may have some. You've given me some. You're sparking some ideas in me, so I will
good.
about it as well, and maybe we can connect this week.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's wonderful. Thanks for asking, though. That's see, this is what I'm going to say, that this is what's been missing too, is some of the questions, right? Because you'll discover through somebody asking you to consider something. So thanks, Catherine. Yeah.
Catherine, can you share yours, because you will have to leave earlier?
Sure. What would you like me to share, or instead of sharing, because I shared on the Thursday call and we've sort of caught up on it, can I mean, if you'd like me to share, let me know what I should share, but I would love if we could create where we're going as where the gap of the platforms, the gap of the
Mm-hmm.
equal by the end of the program. Because something I'm conscious of is that, the program ends at the end of February, but the vortexes don't end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over the next 2 months, what I see is missing in the vortex, and I'm not sure how to articulate it, but it's something around connection. And this isn't about scheduling and calls and like commitments, but I'd like us to look at how we connect, or the other modes of connection, apart from group calls, and how we continue to weave from now to the end of the program and beyond the program. So that's what I'd love to inquire
Mm-hmm.
about here. Does that mess with your schedule? Because I know you had an intention, Andrea.
No, I think it's a good point you are bringing. Nika wants to ask something. I think that's, I just would like to know, when you say connect, what would you mean? Because I might sense what you mean, because we are in instant connection. I would say really instant, like 5 times a day sometimes. But it's not the case with all of us, which is also fine. So what is that also,
Yeah, great start. And maybe it's not connection. It's more like movement and impact. So, for example, like I'm just sort of looking, this is like an example of the week. The probable almost certain future is, we all have busy lives. We're all like up to stuff. And some people can make some calls and not everybody can make every call. And, we need to be responsible about, making our contribution and doing our bit, even when we can't make the calls. So that's just the what's so, and the probable almost certain future between now, like from now until forever, unless we do something differently. So I guess my question is more about how do we keep weaving the platforms, and maybe this is really like a platform question, like what do we want from our platforms by the end of the program? Because knowing that, then we could look at maybe how we're weaving as a vortex. I don't know if that was too.
Okay, I can hear you saying it's just more weaving as a habit instead of a coincidence.
Yeah, intentional weaving.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean you have to be there 5 times a day. It can be once a month and very effective. But what's the end result, and what's the purpose behind it? I think that's the most important. Having the awareness, because that's the beauty of this group to me. We know each other so well. We know what we're up to. Like Marie shared in her videos. Well done, Marie. Learn from Catherine. Yay, great. It's having this intentional meeting with Harry Webers, as a natural thing. Okay, let's have 2 speakers, let's have 2 hosts, have a meeting while we're just around the corner, and just see what the spin-off is there. I don't know if it's really a spin-off for the platform as a national thing, but it's at least it's intentional weaving. It wasn't sort of an unnatural thing to do.
I think I'm just going to, hello everyone. It's good to see you, and thanks for putting up with me for not having my technology updated. Anyhow, talking about Harry Weber, I think those are the things that are the gift of what we do. That is being the change we wish to see in the world. When we can connect with one another about the everyday things of our lives, or the things that are really transformational work that are going on in our hometown, our backyard, or our businesses, and we actually share that with one another, it spurs on things in such a natural way that it's like, why haven't we thought of this idea before? So I think it's important for us not to push too much, but yet to let it come to us and be open to those possibilities of what we're up to. So for example, Katerina, you're talking about your business creation and all that. So I've spent the last 3 days intensive and 2 days before in board governance, and really studying what is the value and what do board of directors do, what's their responsibility, fiduciary or advisory. And more than even learning about what boards do, I learned about what companies need to do and how to actually set up our companies so that we have
boards of directors that give us advice from a place where they're not emotionally attached and they can see the bigger picture. And I learned so many things, and part of it kind of frightened me because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing some of these things in my own company. And so I'm looking at, okay, why am I struggling in my own company right now? And yes, market and the environment that we're in right now is part of that. What have I missed as in that process? So there's lots of bits of wisdom that I can certainly share with you. And I know Glenise has been through that program as well. And we are working in, like, we're working more than a 40-hour, we're working like 100-hour a week already. And somehow we managed to find and carve out spaces here and there to share and connect. So we are powerful resources for one another. And, you know, when I can go to Wendy and ask her, or even just bounce off that like Wendy's the landing spot for the emotional stuff, that when I'm feeling that I'm really lost and gone off on a ship somewhere that's sinking, I can reach out to Glenise, or I can reach out to Wendy, or I can reach out to any of you. And there's just something there that helps me get back on track, because that's our greatest resource. That's the greatest support we can give one another, because we're good at what we do. And yeah, we're throwing stuff all the time about solving problems and making things happen and all of that. And I guess where I'm going is that we are the best resources for one another. And sometimes it just shows up in ways like you, Nenki, saying, well, let's go see Harry Weber, and then just being open to those possibilities and having those possibilities find fertile ground and growing. To me, that's about mindfulness in a way that's beyond contrived mindfulness. It's stuff that happens because we were open to it. So I think it's important that we keep our hearts and minds open to those synchronicities and those unusual things. And you know, Katerina, if there's such a big job in setting up a business or a company. Oh my gosh, like, I get it. And it can be daunting and overwhelming. And even when you're in it, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years, those things don't go away. So how do we stay present to what I need to do now? What matters now? How can we help each other now? So those kinds of things, like, you know, you could say, has anybody got a business plan they can share with me? Has anybody got some rules for governance that I could help? Like, what does an advisory board look like? Has anybody got something to share? And that kind of sharing, I think, will also be a spin-off. It's in lots of ways we're creating another business amongst each other in what we're doing, even though it's a not-for-profit, that's for sure. But we're creating the business of consciousness and the platform of bringing people together to talk about how to grow and expand their mindfulness in conscious living. So whether it's in business or politics, I don't care. It's being a conscious human being, and where we deliver that is the platform that we're on. Just a thought, and I may have rambled.
And Katerina, I've been working in NGO for a long time, and I'm starting my 4th business now from scratch, with no funding, nothing. Transformation Master is just there, something completely different. Went bankrupt nearly in the first one, was struggling with the second one, flourishing to the green level, heading up to the from the yellow level, heading up to the green level now. Really transforming the whole lot again from scratch. I think that's different from when you inherit it. It's another feeling. I don't know how that feels. That's different from what I did in interim management, because that's not as related as Denise and Marie do. But doing stuff from scratch and setting up all accounts, you know, it's there. And I know Andrea has been working on it as well. So there is enough resources for you when you've been up from scratch. It's all there. So just step out and receive us.
I will. Thank you, girls. I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
So then, if I can, and as I was listening to all of you, I had a powerful experience on Thursday at our Women's Presidents Organization meeting. And the format that we follow is something that I think we could adopt here and might actually make some of these working sessions a little bit more productive for whoever is in our group that's really confronted and dealing with that urgent and important issue of the week, because we're meeting every week. So I presented an issue on Thursday, which is our commitment was to hire a new general manager in 2019. And I'm confronted with that because I really, at this point, I'm not ready or willing to let go of the reins. And in the process that we went through in the meeting, whole new worlds opened up to me. Like why a general manager? Well, it's because that's what we've always had for 40 years. Well, do you need a general manager? So the process is everyone gets to share business. So for us, it would be platform, maybe personal, family. And we collectively choose one or two issues depending on how much time we want to spend doing this. And then we go around and first you ask clarifying questions that you cannot answer yes or no to. They have to be deep questions. And then you go around and you just share experiences. There's no advice giving. So I've heard the word advice a few times. Give me some advice. Advice giving is dangerous because if you follow someone's advice and it doesn't work, then there's an opportunity to not be responsible. So it's just experience sharing. So a question is posed, can you share an experience, blah, blah, blah. So there's somebody who creates a question like that. And from that, Marie and I have both been part of this group, and I'm also part of another group that does something very similar for CEOs and presidents. And it just really creates an opportunity for people to take on and get information from the rest of us about what they're really dealing with. Because sometimes in these, I appreciate and I enjoy these this opportunity to connect and have a working session, but there's sometimes it's like a walk away and it's, so what have we actually concretely walked away with that we can use, particularly around our platform work? But I think sharing the personal and sometimes the family is important too, because those things can be a much bigger issue than what we're dealing with creating our platforms or even working in our businesses. So I'm just putting that out there as a thought. I'm not saying we should or have to. I would never, but it's a model that works and is powerful. So if, for example, Katerina hers is like, how do you create a business plan? Experience sharing from each of us on how we've done that and maybe sharing how that worked for us might help her more than just her putting it out there and saying, I need it, and then it just evaporating. Do you know what I mean? And actions and follow up and saying, you know what, I'm going to send you this. This is what I've used, like that kind of thing. So it's more on the court, boots to the ground.
I love Glenyce. I've been in process like that a lot. It's very helpful. And I think we will have something similar what we will use from the SLab. In the theory U, I think the whole U process might guide us as well in similar direction as long as we stick to it and use it in a way that it becomes productive. Because what Sandra Epstein said to me last week when we were on the call, it's lovely to see how you are connected within each other, but sometimes it sticks too much to nice posts and likes. And what are we really putting on the court, like you say, and having a good outcome? Doesn't mean we don't love each other, but it can be in other way productive on all fields, all ecologies. We can have a look at in a more structured way to help each other with the outcome. I totally agree, and I love to take whatever method is on, just to make it workable and maybe fill in the gap of the working session. This is what I hear you say as well. It can be more productive. So there might be a little unexpected gap in working sessions as well for the last 6 weeks. of the program.
And I just want to say I absolutely love this.
One of the things that just popped into my head is maybe what we, it's not so much the format of business family, but looking at our ecologies and what were our goals, what did we set that by the end of the program, this is where we want to be. Maybe it's we visit those every week and say, this is what I'm dealing, this is where my successes were, this is where my challenges were.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I think like we have a lot of focus on doing as opposed to being, and the way we're being clearly is colored by like we're all dealing with like so many things. So like when Bianca said to me before, I reached out like a month ago and didn't follow. Well, actually what I'm dealing with is I have to leave my house in 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks, I have to find somewhere to buy, get my mortgage, la, 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 la. So like, or doing all these things. So I think, and like, it's the value in supporting each other and what we're dealing with and how we're being about it is really, really valuable, because how we're being about what's happening in our life directly affects how we're being about with each other and with our platforms and with everything. So if we're being like, kind of overwhelmed and disempowered, there's going to be no magic coming to the platforms. Whereas supporting each other and how we're dealing with what we're dealing with, and I know we're all of us dealing with a lot of stuff, that's just going to be, I think that's where the magic is that we can really give each other.
And I go back to the other thing that just popped into my head that I'm going back to is when we were providing each other social vitamins. And there were some of us that were the supporters, that was our role. Some of us were I like to think of the ones that were pushing, a little bit, or pulling, reflecting, yeah, and giving that kind of feedback. So you're getting a little bit of what you need with what you're dealing with, right? So yeah, I like what you just said, Katerina, because it is about how we show up. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And how can we support each other to be our absolute best everywhere in our lives? Yeah.
And I think for the ecologies and the attention that was one of the tasks they asked us in the session on Thursday, is to pair up and go over the assignment sheet and just give reflection and feedback what's there, and where are the wins and the gaps, and what has the process been. I think that's a very important thing to create, and just to reach out to each other and just have a look at it for the coming up weeks.
Yeah, Mary, you wanted to share something long time ago. No?
Did I? No. I concur that a structure for our meetings would be really valuable in that, and I know how it works in the WPO, and taking on specific targets and not too much in a meeting, then I think would be much more supportive of one another. And as Katerina said, when we are strong, when we can, like, primary source is here right in our own hearts and what we're up to, when we're on our game, we can do tremendous things. If we need support in feeling whole and complete, or being in that gravitational pull, then that's how we need to help each other get there, so then we can go and do our magic out there, because we're all very, very capable and amazing women who are doing unbelievable things that are so far up the scale from where most of the population are, engaging with humanity. But we need to be whole as we can. And I think that's the greatest gift that we have for one another, is that deep, deep, deep support, and the vulnerability that comes along with that. And when we're strong and we've got our feet on the ground and we're sharing and giving by experience, I think is the best too, then we find our it just flows. So I'm all for that. And yeah, it's good. I know how much that's helped me. That's my experience.
I like the structure of doing it around our ecologies.
Mhm.
Looking at the 3 ecologies over the week, where were our successes and where were our challenges, and then doing that kind of be prepared, like that. I find with whether it's WPO, McKay, or even my weekly meetings with my team, there's a format, like a template. You fill it out. You've had a chance prior to the meeting to reflect, and then you just quickly share. I know in WPO and in our team meetings, it's timed. You have like 3 minutes, and that's it. And then there's the clarifying questions, and then some experience sharing, and everybody walks away with a little bit of something.
But maybe
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, and also it's my suggestion, like considering, instead of asking all the time, where myself, Apinyenke, Catherine, you who are not on a first day call to see and record it, we ask it like more often, and it's more than pushing than like inviting you to see it. What would be helpful to put instead of pushing? Have you recorded something? Record it. Have you done it? To make it smooth, and also reflect on what you are going through right now. Because there's a certain result why you, Katrina, Glenise, and Wendy haven't recorded as anything, haven't shared. And we don't know why. Now maybe we would know if we know what are you going through. So if I take this concrete example to understand it, what would help it, to not to feel pressed and under the pressure, and all of us to know what are your intentions and gaps, etc. Because I think this, if we create another structure, I am for it, but we are so busy that we are not able to follow the things that we have. And it's, for example, visible from this video. That's my occurring. So what would be helpful, that we all will be on the same page, easier, without the pressure. And yeah, maybe following your structure, Glenise, and taking this video recording, as an example, because that's a recent thing. And there was a certain, I think, reason why you didn't watch it or couldn't. It's understandable. But I would like maybe to understand it, because it's a lot of push then, and it's not prosperous for anyone.
Our organization, what we do is we create a buy when, and then you have an opportunity, and this is training that you either accept or you decline, which typically you don't, or you renegotiate. So for me, what was missing there was when there was the request and a buy when was given. At that time, I thought that the buy when was reasonable. But what I didn't do is communicate that the world didn't go the way I had planned it to over the last 3 days. And so I had to come back to you with a new buy when.
Yep.
And that's as simple as that. And if there is no push, there is no need for push or pull. It is up to me that if I don't get that buy when, that I give you another one, or I just decline. And in this case, my buy when is by the end of, the end of the day today. I will get that done. I completely forgot about a birthday party for a dear friend of mine that she's gone through an awful lot. And most, if I was up to my eyeballs like I am right now in work, I would decline. But this person means a lot to me. So that's another 4 hours out of my day that is gone, that I completely forgot about and didn't realize until last night. So those kinds of things keep coming up. My job is to communicate to you. And they aren't excuses. It's just,
it's clear communication. It's clear communication. And you can or you can't. That's all.
Yeah.
Then we know. That's all. No story.
Yeah.
But then at least we know what to expect and how to have us back. That's all.
But the by when is by the end of the weekend anyway,
No.
which hasn't happened yet.
No, it was before our call.
It was
before the
okay.
Anyway,
it was by the end of last night.
Yeah.
Well, for me.
The end of Friday. But that's also, for example, something I'd like to see that we could accomplish within Vortex, that we could support each other in how to expand our platform and memberships or the platforms, with bringing either new women or helping how to enroll them, how to be present to them. And I think that's unless we won't start doing it for ourselves, because of deadline, because of communication, because of, for example, in my case, because of not still trusting myself that much in some areas, and that's sometimes very much appearing, and some levels of uncertainty of my inflow and everything, like financial flow. So I would like to see that we will be able more to involve women who will go on the journey with us, maybe also until the end of the program within the platforms. With our platform, it's definitely having new core team. Like, we are not having people now in a core team because the core team has been diminished, except for one person, So it's also a new challenge, hand in hand with SLab and hand in hand with who can we bring and I can bring to our space. So yeah, maybe getting more support of ours as a Vortex, like what are we going through and how we will like expand as an eagle together.
Well, just actually after this call, Glenice and I have a call with Lizette, Katerina, Koniklova, Ivana, and we're talking about conscious business platform and just exploring ideas. So we don't have a big agenda set other than to talk about what they're up to and what matters to them and what that might look like. So truly looking forward on the platform is really just about that. It's about having more conversations. Certainly Glenice and I have had them locally. That's part of what, some of the writing that I did yesterday afternoon. I don't know how much of it actually got recorded, bits of it, because a couple of the recordings didn't go through, but it really is about just having more of those conversations and it's carrying on with that. So what I want to do is to get the support or the help. Actually, it's more about others taking the opportunity to have conversations where I don't need to be there, because time is one of my greatest resources that right at this moment is pulled in many directions. So being able to create the space for others to step into there and hold a conversation, and it's on the conscious business platform, and let's just start talking about it. And then I think for us coming together is to acknowledge the things that have really worked and are moving forward in regards to conscious business. I've got lots of examples this week of where it's actually working and empowering women. So for a good example is a young woman that I'm mentoring who's also in the construction industry, who's agreed to put her name up for second vice president for next year. So she'll be my wing woman as I go into that president's role. And never before would there have been two women simultaneously working together, and how we plan on doing it differently, because the current president, he's given me almost like zero as far as what he did coming into the role of vice president and strategy or anything like that. He's really an old boy, even though he's a young man. It's like he's playing an old boy's role. So how do we change that? How do we create the trajectory of being different? That's conscious business. So then the application of that, I think when we can share what we're actually doing in our day-to-day life, that's where that application that's building on our vortex. And yes, does my friend Sydney know about GIFU and all that? Absolutely, totally interested. Does she have time for that right now? Probably not. That's not where she's at. But the more I'm present to what's going on, that circle of influence and impact grows where I am planted. And the spinoff for that certainly will be when I'm chatting with others from around the globe, like Lizette and the other women and others who are there, that they might be inspired to do the same. I think that's how transformation happens. It's act locally, think globally, act locally, share. And it should be fairly natural. It is who we are. It's what we're up to here. It is who we are. I'd be curious about what others have done, what your experience this week is, where you've really seen transformation. To me, those things are really inspiring. Who have you talked to, or what has happened in your experience this week where what it is that's at your core of your being, or that life purpose has actually shown up?
I've got a good one. So on Monday, I was having a one-on-one with a young woman that we just hired a year ago. And we hired her as a receptionist, but she is like She's stellar, smart, caring, fully engaged, and wanting to learn a lot more. So first of all, it's her way of being. But then Erin's way of being, her supervisor, just kept saying, wow, you can do more. You can do more. And currently, she's now taking over payroll, which is something she absolutely loves. God bless her, because I probably want to poke my eyes out, but she loves it. And she said to me on Monday, she said, you know, this would never have happened at my other job. I would have just been kept in that role that I was hired for. Nobody would have seen my potential and given me the opportunity to learn more and to become a bigger part of the organization. She said, I feel like I am where I exactly need to be. And I love it here and I want to be here forever. Now, that to me is like, those words were absolutely golden. That is living our purpose of elevating people. That's living our values. And that's growing the next generation. I mean, I got to think 5 years from now, these people are going to be, they're going to be the ones taking over and ruling the roost. And that is conscious business. And that is right there. You could have given me, I don't know, like the equivalent of an Oscar. And I couldn't have been happier. Like I got teary and it was like, this is what I've been dying to create here. Someone that can say that, genuinely say it.
Good for you. Wow.
Great example, Glenise. Great example. I've one as well. Just letting go of the old form of my transformation, my presentation master business. Created a whole new training for transformational presentation masters, and we're going to do that in March and just have a whole new structure of the company. So I have my hands free to do transformation master. I reached out to a speaker agency, wrote a proposal just before Christmas to collaborate and because he is setting up a speakers platform globally. He just reached out to me by WhatsApp because he knew about my eyes that I couldn't read. And then he said, well, I just leave you a voice message that I loved your proposal. There's nothing to add. I love to have you as a part of my company. Let's go over the legal stuff and sign next week so we can move on for transformation in the world. So in my intention, setting my own boundaries and creating new spaces for other stuff, this is something what completely goes through and makes it work in the world for me and gives me a reasonable income stream where I can support others with as well. So as long as it's in the flow, it's all showing up and making it work. Yeah, it's lovely.
Fantastic, Nienke. We've been in touch a lot this week with Nienke because, yeah, the things are moving on in here because after this weekend, we even more set up the concept of whole global academy of conscious politics, that it really will be a container for everyone who wants to be active in a conscious politics, and that we can leverage so much from Wendy, Nienke, from all of us, and have a real faculty as of mentors and really have a profound global program that will be connected very much definitely with platform and with GFU and with all of you, because you've been on the journey with me actually since I was super crabbed in November and not even living. Now it's getting better, and not in terms of money still, that's thing that needs to be gone through, but in terms of that we have the concept. And over the weekend we cleared up with Tinkat. Tatiana is on our board as well of youth politics education, so we really found, okay, this is a concept to be work out. And now we have it already done because Nienke helped me a lot to make a pitch when I was applying to one fellowship. So we had to make a budget from the things that I shared with Mary last year. And really, I think at present. So I'm not afraid that now we won't, act on a global level, because I feel like that everything is going to be interconnected with the platform and with our global platform and our VORTEX. And I think the biggest thing that it showed me was, I was again refused after the interview I had on Monday. I traveled to Prague, early morning train, and I had a great interview in Dutch embassy in Prague for a senior position. I wasn't selected to the second round, but when Nienke helped me to go over that, I really found out on first day call that it's amazing that I was selected to get to first round of the interview. The second one was only with the ambassador. And I was explaining them about our VORTEX and about ASLab, and they were like, I think they were digesting it, and I got positive feedback. And the whole Prague on Monday, and then I met some people I haven't met for a long time, and other people liked me over Instagram, and we got connected, and the new vibe somehow started. And nevertheless, I was tired and going through things. I think that there is still the soul knows what to do, and it's within our platforms and within doing global stuff. And yes, now we have to move it on and make it financially stable. I will be still applying for the jobs, but so far I've been rejected on every one for just not fitting into anything, even if selected. So I'm not proud of it. It's just like how it is. You feel failure partially why is it doing and happening, and it's kind of that feeling that that you are up to something bigger, and then that you would really appreciate an income, like not always calculate everything. It's still, striking. So, but I want to bring more that soul connection and results orientation to us, and bring new women so we can somehow live from that. But everything happens for the reason, and I will have more love and joy and connections over this year with all of you. So it is very helpful, that we could create the things here. And yes, so no Dutch embassy, but it's again no wonder. You never know what goes in their heads.
Andrea, I just want to tell you, you're such an amazing young woman, and the tenacity with which you tackle stuff just stymies me. If the rest of the women on the planet your age had an ounce of your energy and your drive, the whole world would just flip and we'd be in a different place. So just stay brave and know that it can feel scary, but you're not alone, and you will rise. You deserve so much, and you're gonna make it. I'm proud of you.
Biggest thing, I'm sorry to interrupt, Marie. You're on the court and you're playing. You're not sitting in the stands and complaining. You're actually out there doing something. And you're right, everything for a reason. And now maybe not, that wasn't the time. There's something better for you. If not this, then something greater. It's on its way.
It's our global academy, I feel it. It's just like, money wise, you see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I see that's there, creating synchronicities with platform you and making a global academy of conscious politics. It's the sole purpose. That where I am, living anywhere in the world, having loving relationship, being in love with all of you. That's there. But yes, there are the periods you need to overcome with something. So I will still, play hard, but I have all of you. I think it's us, we are having each other to go through the things.
Andrea, did you really hear what the girls shared? Did you really receive it? Making a bit of noise, but it is not necessary. We love you anyhow. And every young lady on the planet has your courage and your energy. I totally agree with Marie. The whole world will flip. So we are incredibly lucky to have you around with us as the youngest, and learn from your experience and the way you tackle stuff. So I was sort of really giving you big compliments on Thursday, and see, I'm not the only one. So please breathe it. Have it as an extra oxygen for our ego, because you deserve it, honey. You deserve it. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Ladies, I'm a bit lightheaded of sitting up. I've been more present on the calls before. So I would like to wrap up if you don't mind.
Yes, it's
Or
7.
otherwise you continue, I'm fine.
7, but we
So-
agreed that we will have 1 hour's calls, not 1
Yeah.
hour's calls. So it's fine. So
I just want to mention it because otherwise I'll tumble over. I think it's time I hit my bed. I can think I can talk, but I can't sit up straight very well.
Bye, you all. I love you. I have to go to the dinky. I'll text you as soon as
Yeah,
I'm ready
I'll be
yeah,
talking in my bed. That will be all right. Yeah, talking
yeah, that'd be
sitting up
perfect.
is different.
Okay, bye, all. Yeah,
Bye,
bye,
Wendy.
Wendy.
Bye.
Bye, Wendy. And we all see each other, I think, with the MIT thing this week, don't we? Are we not on a? Is there not a call this week with Bea?
Yeah, Bea promised to email us stuff because she has been emailed, I think, today or yesterday.
Okay.
What we shared.
tomorrow we should receive something. Everything should be mailed to the participants tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
We'll
Why
be
don't we
right.
just, go into our hearts and know that we're all as well, that we're on the track exactly where we ought to be, and that I think we actually really created something today, talking about this 3 ecologies and just limiting it to the successes, the challenges, and then the clarifying questions, and then really targeting in on one or two of us who really need something to push us or find us our way through, or inspire us, or information, or whatever that might be, that sharing that takes us
Or
forward.
per platform can be the same too. It depends on what rises up. And I think if it's structured, I think it's really wise.
Yeah,
make it work.
I do too. Okay, and then
Andrea,
can you take care?
Yes, I will. I will recover. I hope I will be alright by tomorrow. Just have to I get a lecture at university, so I hope my eyes can stay open.
I think you should wear a patch and go as a pirate.
Yeah, something cool. Yeah,
and just having this night mask, but then just sort of other way around.
Yeah,
just do something funny for the students, and they're all about inventing new stuff. So I may ask them to invent me something. Right? Yeah. It's right, but I just have to regain strength a bit and surrender to, well, not being too active. Yeah. And next time I put on some makeup again, we'll be all right. All right, honey. Thank you so much. Andrea, do you give feedback back to Bea?
Yeah.
Around this call? Perfect.
I will debrief with her. I will ask her to debrief tomorrow with her today. She's in London.
Perfect.
And I'll send you the link to the recording once it's uploaded to iCloud.
Yeah, it's uploaded on recordings on Basecamp.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
good.
I'm willing to create a template for us to use for pre-meeting things to think about and share. Okay.
Perfect.
I just
Excellent.
Mary, if every single young woman on this planet were like me, there would be no children and couples because they will all be single.
Well, I don't believe it. I think you're passionate enough, honey, if the right person shows up. Don't worry.
Do you just get that lingerie ready, young lady? Because it's gonna happen.
Some of us went out yesterday and bought a whole lot of pretty bras just because. And signed up for eHarmony.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
You will be all right, hon.
See you.
Beautiful.
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Stay joyful. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love you.